Welcome to our channel. We're here to take you on discovering Bergen like a true local. From hidden gems and off the beaten path spots to must-see landmarks and delicious local cuisine, we'll show you everything that makes Bergen such a special place. So subscribe to our channel now and hit the like button so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos. Let's explore Bergen together. Iconic Bryggen. On a rainy Thursday in Bergen, I explored all the city had to offer. Despite the weather, I was determined to make the most of my visit. One of the first things I saw as I walked through the streets was the iconic Bryggen, a series of wooden office and warehouse buildings dating back to the Hanseatic League. These buildings, now UNESCO World Heritage Site, were a must-see for any visitor to Bergen. As a local and native, I have always known the city's beauty, but showing it to visitors always brings me a feeling of pride. The rain didn't stop us from exploring the picturesque mountains surrounding Bergen. We went hiking through the lush forests and took in the stunning views from the peaks. It was around 1 p.m. when we started our hike, and we finished around 5 p.m. Later in the day, as the rain continued to fall, I took my visitors to explore the winding, old, crooked alleys between the wooden houses of Nordens. It was easy to see why this area is so popular with tourists. However, the rain didn't stop us from enjoying the place's architecture and historical significance. It was around 6 p.m. when we reached Nordens, and we spent about 2 hours walking around and admiring the site. Tippee Panorama Point. On a sunny Friday morning, I decided to hike to the Tippee Panorama Point. I had heard that it was a must-see destination, and I was looking forward to the challenging but rewarding trek through some of the most beautiful scenery in the area. The hike starts either uphill from the city or downhill from Mount Fløyen, and as a local and native, I choose to start uphill. I began my hike around 9 a.m., making my way up the winding path that leads to the top of the mountain. The weather was perfect, sunny and cool, with a light breeze that kept me comfortable as I progressed. I couldn't help but marvel at the breathtaking views of the surrounding landscape. As I reached the Tippee Panorama Point, I was greeted by an incredible vista that took my breath away. From this vantage point, I could see for miles in every direction, with the city of Bergen laid out before me like a map. I spent a few moments taking it all in, feeling a sense of peace and solitude that I hadn't felt in a long time. It was around 11 a.m. when I reached the summit. After a while, I continued my hike, going down the mountain and back to the city. As I walked, I felt a sense of accomplishment and joy, knowing I had just experienced something special. Finally, I returned to the town around 1 p.m. and couldn't wait to tell my friends and family about my amazing hike to the Tippee Panorama Point. Waterfall Walk. As you stand at the base of Mount Dalsnibba, you can't help but feel a sense of excitement and anticipation. You've wanted to tackle this challenging hike for weeks, and you're finally here, ready to take on the mountain. The Fjords, or Waterfall Walk, is one of the most popular routes up the mountain, and it's easy to see why. The trail winds its way through a lush, green forest, following a series of cascading waterfalls that are simply breathtaking. You can hear the sound of rushing water all around you as you make your way up the mountain, and the air is fresh and clean. As you hike, you can't help but marvel at the beauty of your surroundings. The forest is alive with birds singing and the rustle of leaves in the wind. You stop to rest a few times, taking in the views and soaking up the peaceful atmosphere. Finally, after what feels like an eternity, you reach the summit. As we approached the mountain's base, the bus driver gave us a brief overview of the area and its history. I couldn't believe my eyes as we made our way higher and higher, the views becoming more and more breathtaking with each passing minute. It was around 10 a.m. when we reached the summit. The tour's highlight was the stop at the top of the mountain, where we could get out and take in the panoramic views. The snow-capped peaks and crystal-clear lakes were truly a sight to behold. I was excited to see a few mountain goats and took pictures with them. We spent around an hour at the summit before returning to the city. Visit Ulriken cable car. On a Sunday morning, I decided to visit the Ulriken cable car, the highest of the 7 mountains surrounding the city. As a local and native, I knew that the views from up there are breathtaking, and I was looking forward to it. The cable car ride starts at 9 a.m., and the staff is friendly and helpful. At first, I was a bit nervous about taking the cable car, but it was completely worth it. The ride was smooth, and the staff was really friendly and helpful. Plus, there was so much to do once we got to the top. We hiked, had lunch at the restaurant, and enjoyed the views. It was around 11 a.m. when we reached the summit. The views from the top were truly breathtaking. I could see the entire city and the fjords in the distance. We spent around 2 hours exploring the area and taking pictures. I recommend checking out the Ulriken cable car if you're ever in Bergen. It's a must-see attraction, in my opinion. Trust me, you won't regret it. It was around 1 p.m. when we headed back to the city. Take Norwegian Fjords cruise. On a beautiful weekend morning, I took a Norwegian Fjords cruise to experience the early morning views of one of Norway's best-known fjords. As a local and native, I have been on this cruise multiple times, but the experience never gets old. The cruise starts at 6:30 a.m. to catch the best views of the fjord. The cruise ship was comfortable, and the staff was friendly and helpful. They provided us with breakfast and hot beverages while we took in the views. As we sailed through the fjord, the scenery was breathtaking. The water was calm, and the sun rose, casting a golden glow over the mountains and water. We passed by small villages and towns, and the guide provided insightful commentary about the history and culture of the area. Finally, as we reached the end of the fjord, we had an opportunity to see the famous waterfall, the Seven Sisters. It was around 9 a.m. when we got to the waterfall, and it was a sight to behold. The cruise lasted for around 3 hours, and it was a truly unforgettable experience. If you ever have the chance to visit Norway, I highly recommend taking a Norwegian Fjords cruise. It's a must-see attraction. We reached back to the city around 9:30 a.m. In conclusion, Bergen is a city with many must-see attractions. As a local, I have enjoyed exploring and experiencing the city's top places, and I'm happy to share my recommendations with you. From the picturesque harbor of Bryggen to the stunning views from the top of Fløibanen, there is something for everyone in Bergen. I hope that my travel experience and local guide have inspired you to visit these top attractions and discover the city's beauty for yourself. Happy travels!